I hadn't set foot in Westwood Hills Country Club in 3 years. Life was quieter without all the champagne gossip and the forced laughs that make your teeth ache. Back then, I was still married to Miranda, technically. Emotionally, she'd checked out right after our second anniversary, around the time she realized I wasn't going to morph into a trust fund guy who spent weekends shopping for yachts. She left, married Todd Preston, finance dude, expensive suits, more watch than personality, and they made this club their castle. Sunday brunch, charity galas, every chance to flash status like a neon sign. Karma is patient. She also has great timing. That Sunday, I pulled in wearing a navy polo, jeans, beat-up loafers. Definitely not club attire. I didn't care. I wasn't there to golf. I was there for closure. I stepped onto the terrace. Miranda saw me first. Her face collapsed in one clean movement, like a bad facelift giving up. She leaned toward Todd, and even across the patio I could read her lips. What is he doing here? Todd stood so fast his chair scraped the marble. "You don't belong here," he barked. "Security!" I smiled, small, polite, the smile of a man who knows something everyone else doesn't. Heads turned. Coffee paused mid-pour. Scandal scented the air. Miranda stood, pointing like I'd crawled in through a window. "Get us the owner. Right now. He doesn't belong here." I said nothing. When people are digging their own hole, you don't grab a shovel. You step back and let gravity help. What none of them knew, Miranda, Todd, the Pearl Clutchers 2 tables over, was simple. I wasn't a guest. I wasn't crashing brunch. I was the owner. The legal, documented, signs the paychecks owner of Westwood Hills Country Club. But I didn't say that. Not yet. The reveal is half the meal. Patricia Lang, the club manager, walked out from the lobby. Composed, professional, fully aware of exactly who I was and why I'd come. She'd been running this place long before Miranda ever posed for a membership headshot. "Yes, Mr. Preston?" Patricia asked, voice neutral, eyes amused. Todd jabbed a finger at me. "Trespasser. Remove him immediately." "He's not a member," Miranda added, breathless. "He's my ex-husband." Patricia turned to me. "Sir, are you here as a guest of a member?" I let the silence stretch a beat. Then I said, calm as a Sunday morning, "In a way, I own the place." Silence hit the terrace like a power outage. Even the birds shut up. Todd laughed too high and too fast. "You can't be serious." "Oh, I'm very serious," I said. "Bought it 8 months ago. Been busy improving it since. New espresso machine. Pool heaters. Staff paid a living wage. You're welcome." Patricia nodded to the crowd. "Mr. Harrison is the principal owner of Harrison Hospitality Group, which acquired Westwood Hills last October." She turned to me, no longer hiding the smile. "Sir, how would you like to handle their family's membership?" Their faces dropped in unison. "Power meet vacuum." I looked at Todd. "You tried to have the owner removed from his own property. You made a scene, disrupted everyone's brunch, and treated staff like scenery. That's not a great look." Patricia pulled up their contract on her tablet. Preston Family Membership. Active since 2016. Annual dues $42,000. Subject to termination or suspension for conduct unbecoming or behavior detrimental to club reputation. Todd swallowed. Miranda's hands shook. "Effective immediately," I said, steady and clear. "The Preston family's membership is suspended for 60 days pending review." A couple of members actually clapped. Quiet, polite golf claps, but clapping nonetheless. Apparently the Prestons weren't widely adored. "You're punishing us because you own it?" Miranda managed. "Because we thought you didn't belong?" "No," I said. "Because you were loud, rude, and wrong. This club has standards. Start meeting them." Patricia escorted them toward the lobby. I sat down and ordered coffee. "Best cup I've had in years. You should know how I got here. 3 years earlier, Miranda left. She said I wasn't exciting, not enough for the life she wanted. That same year, my firm hit a cash-tight phase, not failure, just investments maturing slow. We budgeted. She called it a crisis. Then came Todd, private jets, loud watches, new adventures with my forever love, her caption said. I didn't fight the divorce. She kept the house. I kept my savings, my work ethic, my quiet. I disappeared from the social circuit and went to work. I teamed up with 2 guys from my property world, Marcus Numbers and David Builds. We created Harrison Hospitality Group in a garage with a folding table and coffee that tasted like regret. We targeted distressed leisure properties, hotels, resorts, clubs, mismanaged and underloved. Buy low, fix right, run well. The first boutique hotel we bought looked like a set from a post-apocalyptic movie. 18 months later, we sold it for triple. We rolled the profits into the next place, then another. Eventually, Westwood Hills popped up. Prime location, dated operations, owners eager to exit. Perfect. We bought it quietly. Patricia stayed on, thrilled we actually intended to invest. I signed the deed. 8 months of upgrades later, revenue was up 20+%, member satisfaction at a high, staff retention steady. The place worked. So when I walked onto that terrace in jeans, I wasn't there to peacock. I was there to sit in the sunlight and enjoy a coffee in a space I'd rebuilt. And yes, to see if karma still had a sense of humor. By the time I reached my car, my phone was buzzing like a beehive. Miranda, you humiliated me. You ruined our reputation. How could you be so petty? Todd is livid. He wants to talk. You can't do this. We have rights. I texted back one line, dress code violation. You know how it is. 2 days later, an email arrived from a law firm with 3 last names. Formal complaint. Preston Family versus Harrison Hospitality Group. Emotional distress, reputational harm, abusive exercise of power. They wanted reinstatement, an apology, and 50 grand. Also a promise I'd have no further involvement with their membership status. I forwarded it to our counsel with the subject line, LOL. Our lead attorney, Jennifer Park, called laughing. This is adorable, she said. And completely without merit. Also fun. By the next day, our response was 38 pages of calm documentation, security footage of the terrace incident, 6 member statements, the behavioral clause they'd signed, a log of 7 prior complaints about the Prestons, rude to staff, parking lot blow-ups, one alleged thrown drink, and screenshots of Miranda's living my best life posts from the same week she claimed severe distress. The final paragraph. If you wish to pursue litigation, Discovery will place the full history of your client's behavior into public record. We recommend reflection during the suspension period. Their lawyers withdrew the complaint in 3 days. No apology. Just retreat. That night, Miranda texted again. Can we talk privately? I said, sure. Sunday, same terrace. Wear something fancy. We wouldn't want to embarrass the owner. She arrived alone. Designer dress, sunglasses, hands that wouldn't quite stop shaking. She sat. For the first time in years, her voice was small. You didn't have to humiliate me, she said. Not like that. Not in front of everyone. You're right, I said. I didn't have to. For years you made me feel like I wasn't enough. Steady said like an insult. Property management said like a disease. Consider this. Symmetrical therapy. I never meant to make you feel that way. You did, I said, because it made it easier to leave. She looked down. I thought Todd was what I wanted. Lifestyle, money, excitement. Now I'm married to a man who treats me like an asset under management. She laughed once without humor. It doesn't matter. It kind of does, I said. You left because you thought you were upgrading. Turns out you traded real for shiny. You've changed, she said. I had to. When someone calls you not enough long enough, you either shrink or grow. I picked grow. Silence, then. For what it's worth, I was wrong about you. That's a start, I said. But it doesn't undo the last 3 years. And it doesn't change the fact that 2 weeks ago you tried to eject me from my own property. I didn't know, she said. You didn't ask, I answered. You assumed. That's the part that's on you. She nodded, eyes wet. What now? Will you let us back after 60 days? I could ban you permanently, I said. But here's what we'll do. Suspension stands. If you return, you act like adults. You treat staff with respect. 1 complaint and you're out for good. Yes, she said quickly. We will. Then we'll see, I said, standing. You don't owe me gratitude. You owe this place better behavior. As I left, Todd's Mercedes rolled in. He stayed in the car. One more thing, I said, turning back. Being underestimated? Great business plan. So thank you. You gave me motivation. 3 weeks later, I was back at the club for an actual work day. Marcus and David were flying in. We had numbers to review and 2 acquisition offers from struggling clubs. Todd walked into the lobby alone, No entourage, no bluster. He looked smaller in a golf outfit that probably cost more than my first car. "Can we talk?" he asked. "Have a seat." "I wanted to apologize," he said, "for the terrace, for trying to have you removed, for the lawsuit. I saw jeans, assumed you didn't belong, and I performed for the crowd. It was ugly. You didn't deserve it." "Apology accepted," I said. "But if you pull anything like that again, you're done." "I get it." He hesitated. "Miranda's been spiraling. She built this story where leaving you made sense because you were the wrong choice. Your ownership blew that up. She's having trouble reconciling who you are now with the story she told herself." "Here's advice you didn't ask for," I said. "Stop competing with the version of me in her head. I'm not that guy anymore. Figure out what your marriage actually is, not what she wants to post about." He let out a breath. "That's surprisingly decent of you." "I have better things to do than hold grudges," I said. "Like run the place you tried to kick me out of." He even laughed. We shook hands. "Growth happens in weird places. Patricia found me later." "You're quiet," she said. "Regretting anything?" "Just thinking," I said. "Did I buy this to win or because it was a good investment?" She shrugged. "Why not both? You saw upside. The irony was a tip." "Fair enough." That night, the partners and I toasted in the restaurant. Steaks, good wine, talk of new hires, and finally getting an office that doesn't smell like paint thinner. The club was performing above projections. Harrison Hospitality Group was officially on the map. On my way out, I spotted Miranda on a bench by the garden, alone. "Couldn't sleep?" I asked. "Something like that," she said. "You were right about the therapy thing. I needed to feel what I made you feel." "For what it's worth," I said, sitting a respectful distance away, "I don't hate you. I did for a while. It's heavy." I put it down. She nodded. "Not how I pictured this chapter. Life's draft process is messy," I said. "But the rewrite can be good." We sat in the kind of silence that finally feels like closure. I stood. "Take care, Miranda." "You too," she said, "and thank you for not making it worse." I drove home with the windows down. Cool air, city lights. I thought about the arc, divorce, the garage office, the acquisition, the terrace scene, the lawsuit that fizzled, the apologies. I used to think revenge would feel like fireworks. Turns out it feels like peace. Like walking your own property and knowing the lights are on because you kept the receipts. Like staff who nod because you treat them like people. Like coffee that tastes better in a building you saved. The next morning I woke early, made my own, and got to work. Boring, reliable, steady work. The kind that compounds into something extraordinary. And if my ex happens to witness that while sipping champagne at a club I own, that's just the cherry on a sundae I was going to enjoy anyway.